Listen, somebody around me is pregnant. Hey there, what's happening? How you doing? I'm great. Thanks so much for asking. This is the Squirrels Podcast, and I am your host, Callie, here with my co-host, Kristina.
Whoop whoop. Hey guys.
How you doing, Queen?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah. You're great energy today. You look great. You feel great.
I feel good.
You're shining. You're not pregnant, are you?
Absolutely not.
Listen, somebody around me is pregnant. I am. I've been telling Barry and Pete and just people in my life that somebody around me is pregnant because every day I'm nauseous. Every morning I'm going to have like morning sickness.
Well, it is not me.
Well, and I didn't, you weren't the person I thought, but I thought I still needed to make sure because, you know, just to make sure, you know. But you're glowing today.
Thanks.
Funny with the pregnancy story. So my Claires are really lining up right now. Mm-hmm. They have been.
Nice. Love that for you.
Yeah, it's a you know it's a love-hate thing, right? So like sometimes they're really on right now because I'm really spending a lot of time outdoors because the weather is perfect Florida weather.
Perfect Florida weather right now.
So every day I'm in the convertible, just soaking in all the energy. I'm gone from, I mean, early morning, you know, at sunrise to I'm at the beach. Like I'm just absorbing a lot of energy, right? Okay. So I'm just really in tune. And so this pregnancy thing, and it just kept getting like really, it was focused on one certain person, like basically. But you know, you don't always, you know how that works. You know, sometimes that doesn't mean anything, you know, it's like, well, it does, but you have to kind of figure it out, right? So I'm getting my nails done. And from the beginning, I felt it was like my nail girl. I don't know. I can't explain that.
I'm glad it wasn't me. I would have been like, what you talking about?
I just felt like it was my nail girl, but like I just felt like it was my nail girl. But there's things with that came with it. Like I have this burning desire, just like I think I told you I did. It's not in the last edit, but where I told you about the friend that I had to stop to tell her about coming back from a trip quicker. Okay.
Yeah.
So the same kind of feeling. And it kept saying, like, just don't put poison in your body. Okay? If you're trying to conceive or you're conceiving, don't, like, that's what, it was kind of that. Well, I didn't really tell her any of that because I don't feel like I'm not going to be like, hey, girl, by the way, if you're trying to get knocked up or if you are, bet. Okay?
Like, don't put anything in your
body.
body.
I feel like it's not my place. I mean, we're cool,
right? But like
I don't feel like it's a sensitive topic for people who are either trying to get pregnant, that couldn't get pregnant, that have, you know, like. Sure. So I'm just like sitting on it. Well, I was saying, I don't know how it even came up when I was getting my nails done that day, but she said something like, "Well, I hope it's me," because I said something like, "Man, somebody," and she's like, "I swear you're the person I feel, just letting you know this," and she's like, "Oh my God, really? Oh my God, oh my God." I was like, I'm just letting you know I feel it. Like if it's not, it's happening. Like I can tell you that. And this is just coming out my body. Like I'm not sitting there thinking, it's just words coming out. Like, and I'm like, hi, are you here? Are you talking? Like, why is this coming out your body? Right? Like, I don't want to have this conversation with her because it could be awkward. Because I know some, it just could be awkward.
Right.
So I'm like, and she's like, that her and her husband were going to go on this little thing and, you know, usually go drink and stuff. And I'm like, well, don't drink. I don't even know. I don't know why I'm telling you this.
Don't put no toxins in your body.
Just don't drink, right? And she's like, okay. Oh, And I was like, I'm just saying, like, I don't know why I'm telling you this.
Don't drink.
So this morning, I was texting her. I'm giving her this bodysuit thing that I have, and I was like, hey, And I was like, and by the way, I have this and I didn't tell her at that time not to put toxins in her body. I was just like, hey, listen, like, maybe don't drink, you know, right. Like. But it was very clear to me this morning. Hey, and Spirit says exactly what I text her. Hey, and Spirit says, coming from Spirit, do not put anything in your body that could be toxic that you can control. That was the message. She called me, not even, I swear, probably 5 minutes later and said, oh my God, Callie, you will not believe this. I am riding in the car with my husband and my best friend. And we were just having this conversation about me taking these certain medications for like fertility and like all this stuff, right? She's like, and then I get your message and she's like, I told him like, I don't think I'm going to do this because and I get your message that says, do not put the shit in my body. Like, that's crazy. I was like,
I'm just saying.
I mean, could it be any more like it's really on point like that. Like that's not the only, like that's just something recently that's happened. But I'm curious, where does it become where, and I know you get these too, and you said we were talking about, somebody I don't like to use names just because whatever, but sure. Somebody that you mutually introduced me to, and that she had I don't know, had given you some information years ago, like a forewarning kind of thing, right? And you didn't listen, right? So, but I'm curious, when does it become like your Claire's, like, especially when it's a random person or you feel like you're butting into something? I mean, do you understand that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I deal with it all the time. Like, I mean, I've been at work and a customer comes in and there's something latched to them. Like, this happened one time. This happened like maybe, I don't know, it was after my year. Like, I was already with the company for like a year, but it was like kind of a bit ago. A customer walked in. It was like maybe like 40 minutes till close, just me and my guide. And this guy comes in, and I mean, I don't know if it was like his brother or a cousin or I don't know, but there was somebody with him. Obviously not a real like a spirit. Like there was like something just like kind of and I'm, that's where it's like, when do you say something? That day I chose not to say something because like you don't know when it's gonna just fuck up someone's day, like,
or you don't know if they just think that you're crazy as fuck.
Yeah, like for real. Have no, especially with strangers, you have no idea or like how they're gonna react to like something, because like you don't know what anyone's dealing with.
Or even if it's like your hair girl, your nail girl, like somebody that you kiki with a little bit, but like maybe you're not like, so it's like, and then it's like, what if, have you ever not said a warning and then something happens and then you're like, oh fuck, am I getting punished for this now? Because that happens.
That happens. I don't usually feel it as like a punishment. I will definitely be like more like, it'll make me question like, why were you not listening to your intuition? Why were you not listening to the download? Like when I do a Reiki session or when I'm doing a tarot card reading, like if I get a download in those sessions when I'm, working within your auric field and working with your energy, like I will say it, like no matter what comes through, even if it doesn't resonate with you, it might resonate later. And I've, like this past like 3 weeks, I've been pretty busy. I've had a lot of Reiki sessions. I've had a lot of energy clearings. I have a house clearing at the end of the month. I have a couple tarot card readings tomorrow. I've had tarot card readings last week. Like when you're doing that kind of spiritual work, you're going to get messages. But then I feel like people have given you the inclination to give them the downloads.
To be okay to do that.
Yeah, like I go ahead and I use an archangel deck for my tarot card readings just because it's a little bit lighter. There's no reversals. The messages, even when it's like something that's like maybe it's just not as harsh as the Rider-Waite deck or like a traditional tarot deck. So like I'm already trying to like be on a nicer scale to make it a little bit easier to take on harder information. So like, if I have a download that's a little bit more serious, I'm going to say it to you serious just because I'm already like numbing you a little bit with the Archangel deck.
So I think the thing that I either fuck up with or I don't know if it comes from like like if I were to explain the way, because a lot of times my delivery and information is not great.
Yeah, no, same.
I can't help that. And I think that maybe it has something to do with our gifts / curses. I don't mean that, but I do. But I think people don't understand the urgency, because the problem is it needs to come out real and raw. I truly believe that, because otherwise you put too much of your own personal thought into it and thinking like you are not there to think about it, judge, or wonder why the fuck it's there in your head. You're just there to be a messenger, a deliverer. That's what a medium truly is, in my opinion. I don't know. I truly have not studied mediumship.
No, I agree with you, because that's why I don't pull my cards anymore. There's too much bias. You already know what you want. That's what you already. I won't pull my own cards anymore because like it's just too biased.
I can understand that.
You're going to always want to go with the nicer side when there might be times when you need some harder truth.
Or maybe you want to, or maybe it might be the other way. Maybe you're really down on yourself, or you can only see the negative part of it and not look the light.
The positive, yeah.
Yeah. So that, and I think that happens a lot in
like, it's much easier being a messenger for other people because I don't know your situation. I don't have any bias. I don't like, you know, like it's not going to affect me what comes out.
And you know what else too? It may not even be for you. So in this message today, when I was talking about it earlier, and I think I was talking to Barry. Sorry, by the way, if you can hear if you can hear my dog grinding a bone, I'm so sorry. I have 2 active dogs that have
yeah, well, she's like just going.
I mean, she really is. Thing. I heard it. I heard it in the headphones, so I know it's going to be able to be heard. But maybe we need to.
I was like,
maybe we need to
cow.
Pause as we were talking about earlier.
Maybe you going to town on that bone.
Maybe we need to pause and have Barry put her like in the living room. Hold on one second. We're back.
Sorry, y'all.
We're back.
We're back.
Sorry, we had to get the dog chewing.
We have living animals living in the home.
I have 4 dogs. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And she just, I mean, you know, she just being a dog. That she was going to town on that bone, y'all. You have no idea.
Yeah, she really enjoyed it.
I mean, you might hear a little clip of that, but yeah, she's really gnawing on that thing.
We won't put you through any more of that because that grinding was grinding me.
I was gonna say it was trying to get to me. I was like, John, oh my god, like we gotta go
through the headphones, so you know the mic was picking that up.
Yeah,
so.
no, sorry y'all. Sorry.
So
picking back up.
So this morning I was kind of talking about this because it, you know, when you have these gifts and I say suppress them for a long time, and then when you really get more in tune with spirit nature, whatever, it's really unreal. Like it's unbelievable sometimes when things like that happen. Like you're like, of course, but it's also like, it's just confirmations that like, it's just confirmations of it. So I was talking to Barry about it, and I was saying, like, I was explaining the story, and I said, I had told her, if you want to have, you know, at the end of the day, your choice. How bad do you want this? You'll get this. The divine will give you what you want, but you've got to put the work in, right? So if you truly want a child, you're going to be tested. This is the message. You're going to be tested. You need to put no toxic substances in your body. None. You know what that is? Whatever. If you want to have a child with this man, and I heard that again. And I said, why am I emphasizing this man? Maybe the message isn't for her. Maybe the message is for this man. Maybe he doesn't need to, his sperm need to be a certain caliber to. So why do I keep saying this man? If you want to have that's her husband.
I mean, my friends who are trying for a baby, my friend who's a male,
mm-hmm.
he is not he's not indulging. He's not really drinking. He's not really.
So I'm wondering,
soda, like keeping his sugar down, not smoking.
I'm wondering if that,
because it takes both partners to be pretty healthy.
And I'm wondering if it's more
him.
I mean, I don't know, but like why? So that's what I'm saying. Like you don't
know anything about him, right?
No, I don't know.
Not.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just know it's her husband. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, why does this come up? Like, why does it come? Like, I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm a third party, so it's just to deliver the message that way. But then maybe don't decipher too hard into it because it's not my message. I'm just the messenger. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Just a lot of those kind of instances have kind of happened to me. So
this is my biggest thing. I refuse to drink drinks that I don't like. I have been drinking since I was 14. I'm not proud of it. I don't even think it's a smart move. It ruins your frontal lobe. But
your mom is gonna be so mad at you when she sees.
My mom knows. My mother knows.
She's gonna be like,
my mother knows.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, my mom knows. She grounded me quite often. I have stories for days.
She knows you're the party girl. Are
Well,
you the most party out of all your sisters?
Oh yeah. Like even when I went off to college,
mm-hmm.
I lived on campus my freshman year, and then I was living in an apartment my sophomore year. But my junior and senior year, I was living in a house. It was the second closest house to the FSU stadium tunnel. It's the St. Mark's Trail, but it's been nicknamed forever the rape trail. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, like for real. And I was like the second house. And like we used to have like crazy tailgates. I was so ratchet. I went to Mardi Gras when I was like 20. I've been wild like my whole life. But like I calmed down when I was 28. When I was 28, I was dating someone who was a reformed addict. And so I like went sober for 10 months. I didn't do anything for like 10 months. Then I went back to it and I had like a strict 3-drink rule.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good for a while. And then after we broke up, I like realized I'm not the addict. He's the addict.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this. And I went back to being the way I am. And the only problem is that like I was saying, I have a problem with stopping. Like June 28th, 2024 will live down in infamy. It's the 9 martini night where I almost gave myself, I'm pretty sure I nearly gave myself alcohol poisoning.
Oh, that you were making martinis that night. I remember.
Yeah, I made myself 6 double dirty martinis. Then my sister and my cousin asked me to go around the block to my favorite watering hole. I had 3 martinis and 3 shots.
I was cheering you on when you were making them. I remember that.
Because
I was proud of you because you love martini.
I love martinis. I swear to God, I'm so happy I didn't like. I couldn't eat anything. Like I was throwing up the whole day, like from 9 to 4, like so much alcohol. Like I've never been that drunk. I have no memory, no memories from that evening.
Well, you at least know you don't want to do that again.
Yeah, no, I'll never do that again.
Then you didn't drink for a while after that.
I didn't. I couldn't. My stomach like was like, "There's no way, bitch." I didn't drink for like a whole month.
I've been blackout drunk. So I think one time we went out, I got real. Remember. Not the Exorcist we were talking about earlier. I wasn't even that drunk that night, actually.
No, that was something came over you.
Yeah, but that we went out one night drinking, and I mean, I think it was emo night in Fort Lauderdale. And,
that sick. One, you got real sick.
Oh man,
that one was just you and I. We were just chilling.
Oh man, I was so sick.
Yeah, no, that 9 martini night will live in infamy.
Yeah, I have a night like that in college. I drank a whole bottle of Everclear, 151 Everclear. Like just the whole bottle. Like I literally ended up in the hospital with alcohol poisoning. Like that's why I know about.
Sounds like a terrible.
That's why I know about activated charcoal, because that's what they pump your stomach with. Yeah, I had alcohol poisoning at 18 years old in college. So yeah, I'm telling you, same. Just.
Oh yeah, I just love alcohol. Like it's
always
been my drug of choice for a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess cannabis, but I don't
yeah,
consider that really
I
a drug. But like, I love alcohol too. Like I haven't. It just depends. It just depends. I haven't really drank a lot recently.
Yeah. And that's like the whole thing. It's like I have no desire to drink at home after a work day. Like I'm not like, oh my God, I just need a fucking drink. Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
But when I'm out and having a good old time, like alcohol gives me a dopamine rush.
So do you feel, real quick, back to like, actually I just thought about this, back to dating a reformed addict. One of the reasons I haven't drank really since last year a whole lot is because like my mom is an alcoholic or recovering, or it depends on it depends on the story, but she had she won't admit it, but like a relapse, and it really affected me in my 40s, or like in my mid 40s. I couldn't believe how much it affected me or whatever. But anyhow, that's the main reason I haven't drank. But do you feel, and I have like, I've dated people who have been in recovery or reformed alcoholics. Do you feel like your lifestyle has to change if you're somebody that like you just said likes to, and you want to go out, you can't kind of really go out, right? Like you feel like
kind of
it kind of hinders who you are, and it's like it's not really, and it's I think people with their ego might get offended by that, but it's
it was a major problem.
But it's not my issue. I still maybe want to go out like on the Super Bowl and wild out, and or maybe go out and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh no, when I was with my ex, he was very abusive in the sense that like he mentally would make me feel bad. Like he would make me feel like I was the addict. Like I would be like okay, here, this is a really good example. I love football.
Mm-hmm.
I love football. I love tailgates. I love all that. Those 3 years that I was with my ex, he did not like football, and so he could not understand like why would we go to a bar and just drink to watch football, and I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, I want to go and watch the game with like my family at like the bar, and he's like, why? We're not going.
It's like, well, but that's just like what I want to do, and there's nothing wrong with.
Oh yeah, no,
wanting
there
to do
was
that.
things that I was not allowed to do in that relationship.
Yeah, well,
Like right now, how I did with Jordan, like how I go on vacation by myself without him,
mm-hmm.
that was not allowed.
Well, and you know that's unhealthy. You know?
No shit, that's why we're not together.
Exactly. That's it. But I think like people, you know, people have to realize that you have your own. You know, everybody has their own thing, and just because like you can't handle something doesn't mean that another, you know.
But
like,
they kind of treat like they keep the relationship the same way as like an addiction. That's why like I wasn't allowed to not travel without him because he had to travel with me to make sure that he knew what I was doing at all times. Like you become the addiction.
Oh, it's like a transfer. Like you become. I got you. That makes sense.
Like it was like
because
like I wouldn't be able. I'd get off of work and my day had to end at 6.
Yeah, love and relationships have to do with that too. Like that is, you can be addicted to love and addicted to relationships. So I can see that being the transfer of the addiction. I can see that. I mean, a lot of people too also really get into like fitness, like hardcore. They become like addicted to fitness. Yeah. You know, I've seen that a whole lot too. So
exercising, anorexia is a thing.
Which I mean, it's a better addiction than, you know, heroin, crack, drug, whatever the drug of choice is. It's a better, I guess, addiction, but you know that I think addictive behaviors, addictive personality, or addictive behavior is a real thing.
It very much is. Don't start coming for me with my drinking, and really don't drink that much. Yeah, but really, when I party, we're going.
Or I just think it's, I still haven't done the drink around the world in Epcot. I've never been. That's another thing. I've never been to Disney. I've never been to Universal. I've never been. When people say, "Well," I'll be like, "Oh, I've lived in Florida 25 years this year, and I've never." That's wild. And I've never been to Disney, and they're like, oh well, Epcot, or I'm like, no, I've never been to any of the parks.
Yeah, that's what we just did for my birthday. We did Epcot. Yeah. Was that Monday?
That drink. I've never done the drink. I've never done it, so I would love to have a drink around the world day.
Several stories, I mean, several, because I've gone and done it. Yeah. And I have finished it, and then there's been times where I've not finished it, but that's because I can't just drink one drink in each country. Like if you drink one drink in each country, there's 11 or 12 if you go to the African outpost.
Okay.
I can't do that.
Okay.
Like my 24th birthday, we were taking tally marks of how many drinks I was drinking. Mm-hmm. I ended up blacking out and throwing up on a bench in Morocco, but I had 23 tick marks on my and that was not even the last country. I still had 3 more countries. I had 23 drinks.
I remember doing that nights. I mean, at the Ugly Mug in Delray, we would literally drink. I mean, I would do 14 shots and then also be drinking mixed drinks and beer. And I'm like,
when I was 19, what? I went to a biker bar in Tallahassee, and I went shot for shot with a 300-pound man and beat him. And it was just straight whiskey shots. I'm not bragging. I just need to make that clear because this does not give me a good look. But I have always been, when I was in college, people called me Moj. You know, I had a nickname. I wasn't Kristina. Men were not dating me. I did not have many boyfriends. I had situationships. I had hookup buddies. I did not have, I was not that prim and proper girl that you were bringing home to mom. I was a wild animal at FSU. I was a wild animal.
You're a lot of fun. We're just fun people. We're just really fun people.
I was, and that's I also have lived in almost every college town. I lived in a majority of college towns in the state. Mm-hmm. And I actually said this to Karen earlier because she's in Gainesville this weekend. If there is a strip of bars, I will have fun anywhere.
Yeah.
If there's fun bars with fun music, I will be fine.
And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even if it's music that you would typically listen to. If it's just a good energy, it doesn't have to be a good vibe.
Yeah,
I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, if I can get a drink somewhere, I've been at places where I was on per diem and I was just staying at a hotel for the weekend as I was working at another store. If there was a hotel bar, I was there.
I'm always at a hotel bar.
Whenever they have those happy hours.
Same. I love them.
Yeah, that's me.
I love nothing more than getting a beach hotel and having
Yes.
like happy hour, like mingling with other people that are traveling, that like you're from everywhere. You talk about the
Yeah.
dumbest shit, you know. I
I've
don't know.
I've been in Disney World by myself waiting for my friend to get there like 2 hours after me.
Mm-hmm.
I literally Ubered to the Polynesian and just hopped on the monorail and went and did the monorail bar crawl by myself because you're just going bar to bar to bar.
That's something I'm learning. When I was younger, I would never, ever, ever do anything by myself because I always
Oh,
felt like it
hell
was
no.
weird.
I love doing shit by
And
myself.
now that's something that I'm actually having to adjust to recently. Like people, people want to go do things with me. Like they want to go to the Everglades or they want to go to the beach, and to me, it's like almost torture. And it's not because I don't like want to hang out with people, or it's not
Right.
because, but it's truly because like when you have somebody tag along with you, especially if you've already chosen you want to go do something, okay, and then you have somebody want to go with you, not that you even invited them, that they want to go, and they're like, oh, could I? And you're like, yeah. Well, when somebody else joins in, you now have to be mindful, unless you're a piece of shit. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
fine too. There's nothing wrong with being selfish. Now, no. I'm being honest. Now that's who I'm becoming. I'm becoming
Yeah.
the piece of shit now. Now I'm becoming the person that's like, okay, you want to go? I did this to Laura this week. Cool. You want to go with me? You know, it's the middle of the day. The top is going to be down. You're going to get hot. Your hair's going to blow everywhere. I'm just telling you. I'm not trying, but I'm letting you
But
know.
I think it's better for people to be transparent. Like we were telling a friend of ours, we want a friend of ours to come to Disney, and we let her know, like, just so you know, you don't like being around drunk people. We're going to be belligerent.
Yes.
And I wish I could tell you that we're not going to be belligerent, but with the group that I was going with, we just feed off each other.
But we're not going to not have a good time,
right? Because you've decided that you don't like this.
And that's
I want
okay
you to know,
and it's
ahead
okay
of time
that you
this
don't
is-
like it.
Exactly.
So maybe go a different time,
Right.
or maybe
Yep.
that's just not the vibe with my group. Maybe
Right.
it's better for you to find a different group to go with, to sightsee and take pictures or whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
And I think, to be really honest, it's really good that you get that, like, at the age you get that at. Like, I'm just getting better at that as the older I get, because I've been told to be prim and proper and nice and do what everybody wants you to do so much in my life. And I think
Yeah.
we're guided so much on trying to not hurt other people's feelings, that we literally, and it's not that you're trying to hurt people's feelings, you're just trying to live your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm becoming more, and I really like to be alone. I love to go to these little, I'm really into Cuban cafes right now. Go to these little Cuban.
Oh, I've seen you've been on these Cuban cafes, these Cubanos.
Yeah, these little Cubanos. So I've been going to these Cuban cafes and just doing like me time, just sitting with my notebooks or my books, and like kind of getting back to like old world life, just like being more in the moment. You know what I mean?
I've always done shit by myself. Like I was single for a big portion of my life, so I was always big on like going to restaurants, going to the movie. Like I was not gonna wait for anyone else. Like when the first Jurassic World came out, and I was like, no, I'm going to the 4:45 when I get off of work. I made plans with no one. I didn't want to have to wait for anyone. I wanted to get off of work.
That's the thing.
And go to the movies and watch my movie and cry in peace by myself. Then I had people who wanted to go. I went second and a third time, but that was fine. I wanted that by myself.
I've actually done the same exact thing, and I actually got annoyed that twice, two different premiere things that I wanted to go see. You know what I mean? Like two different things I wanted to go see the first time, that I invited somebody to go with me. Sorry, I have like this horse in my throat. Frog, big horse.
A big horse.
I'm starting to feel kind of hoarse a little bit. But I invited somebody to go with me, and to both of these things, my experience was fucked up because I had to either wait or rush around. It's like, I'm learning now that just do the things you truly want to do. Don't just do them by yourself. I think you really get more satisfaction out of that, and you get a more genuine experience. And if you're mad, you can only be mad at yourself. You can't.
Yeah.
I hate worse than anything when I'm like frustrated, and it's like I'm frustrated with the situation when I knew I shouldn't have just done it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that was like when I was going to Disney with my family. Jordan's like, there's 15 of us going. You already know it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's the second day of the year. You just, if we're not up for it, like we're not going to start a fight. We're just going to walk away and we're going to go do our own thing. And I got very frustrated because it was like stop and go for the first 2 hours. And I'm like, we're never going to get on anything. Jordan and I had to go. I was fucking losing it. Like when I'm at Disney, and I get it, some people are not this way. I like rides. I want to go on all the rides. I want to go on everything. If I'm there spending $189 for the ticket, like, no, we're going to do everything.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? You remember a few months back, the whole Osprey, when I say the whole Osprey.
Yeah, the Osprey.
Okay. And that day that I went to St. Augustine, I went by myself. It was just out on a whim. I was in Daytona and said, fuck it. I'm going to drive up to St. Augustine, get pizza at my favorite pizza spot.
Yep.
Go do what I want to do. And I wanted to shop, you know, the square, whatever, the downtown. And I just walked all over it.
Oh,
and that day.
My God.
That day. I got so many like confirmations on doing things alone. That's kind of been my like learning experience. This last little learning thing I'm learning. I saw a family going through that right in the middle of the square. They were all like, and one person's yelling like, we have this amount of time. We got this much of time left. Everybody's want to do this. And then like some people don't even get to do what they, so honestly, it truly is better to go by yourself.
Yeah.
Or when you get there, say, okay, if you all want, this is what I'm doing. I'm not being like, go do whatever. We can text. We can all text. We don't have to do every single thing.
Yeah.
Because that.
And
really...
I try to tell people that, like, when I go on vacation with people, like, I luckily go with people where it's like, if, like, when I was in New Orleans with 3 of my friends and Jordan, me and Jordan did not want to go back to the Crazy Corner and listen to the same band that we saw the night before because it just was the same set.
Right.
We see them every time we go. We nothing against them. We wanted to go down to Frenchman.
Right. You wanted to do something different.
No one got offended.
Because people who
we'll see you in 2 hours.
People who realize it's not about them, like really and truly, and I used to take everything so fucking personal and get my feelings hurt so much.
Yeah.
That's on you, bitch.
Yeah.
That's on you. Because everything's not the fuck about you, and everybody else wants to live their fucking life too. So if you just take yourself out of it and be like, okay, let them do what it's not about you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I do have one more thing I want to tell you.
Tell me.
So, and this actually, all of this stuff ties into Valentine's Day, basically. But it's like, it just, we end up off on topic. So all this stuff happened on Valentine's or around Valentine's Day. So yesterday was Valentine's Day. I go to the tanning spot that I go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite girl's there. And she's so freaking cute. And she's all dressed up for Valentine's Day. She's a 17-year-old girl. And, I said, it's for Friday. And I said, are you not in school? Like, what's... And she's like, it's Valentine's Day. And I was like...
Don't tell me they have the day off now on Valentine's Day.
Well, that's what I was like. And she said, well, the Marjory Stoneman Douglas, because we had that massacre here. Think about that.
Oh, yeah, it was on the 14th.
Okay, it was on it's called the Valentine's Day Massacre. Okay. Now... That's my community. Like legit, they had us on lockdown. My friends saw us on the news. And
well, I was gonna say, I think I told you, my cousin and her mother, they were in the school.
Oh yeah,
they worked there, and Kelly was like in the room that was next to the one that.
Yeah,
it was a whole thing.
They
it was
finally,
like to this day they're still not okay. Like she made a post yesterday, just reminding everyone like it never gets easier. It's never going to get easier.
No, because the PTSD is insane.
No, it's forever. I mean, you constantly are going by, or it's right here. Like
even the PTSD, from like I gotta watch how I say this, but not really, because being on a movie set, because that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Even that is crazy. Like when I hear helicopters, they hovered over my house for a month. I literally went and stayed in a hotel to get the fuck away from the helicopter sound. It was that bad.
Yeah.
We had places we could stop and do like news interviews.
Do you remember the first time that I took that way to your house and I came up and I was like, Callie, I didn't realize that you were this close to Marjory Stoneman.
Yeah.
Remember how like I did not know where I was?
Yeah.
And I literally like all of a sudden started getting, I had gotten these like very bad feelings.
You know what?
And all of a sudden I pull up and I was like, and my GPS is like, you're gonna be turning left. And so I pull into the left lane and I'm just like, I'm changing to something. I'm looking at my phone and I look up and right there it says Marjory Stoneman Douglas. And I was like, oh my God, that's the school. And then like, I was like, I look at my GPS and I'm like, Callie lives like right there.
Yeah,
and I was so blown away. It really fucked with my reality.
And then also, yeah, and
all my napkins.
very. So So she was telling me that the school, and I was like, "Oh, so you go to Douglas, right?" So I'm like, "Oh, so you go to Douglas." By the way, I meant to say this a second ago. They actually finally tore that fucking building down.
Yeah.
Um, we really should go sit over there and investigate one night.
I just sitting at the light gave me
Oh, you can
the
feel.
heebie-jeebies.
You feel
So
every time you pass that school, you feel it. Like
I
you,
had just no idea. Like I did not know that was at school.
and you know,
Like
I
was
pass it.
that was like the first time I was driving that way because I always would take the other way to your house.
Yeah,
That was the first, and I remember just like that first time I was like,
yeah,
holy shit.
yeah, yeah. It was really crazy. And she's 17. So I mean, but so I was like, "Oh, so you go to Stoneman?" And she's like, "No, I go to this other school. You know, it's really close or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I know a person." And what basically she was explaining was that they get out on the 14th for that. Like Stoneman's closed. They have like police. It's blocked off, or like people just come to do memorial stuff there. And then the surrounding schools have like basically like an in-service day or whatever they call it. Like, but it's only half a day, and they don't teach. It's more like there's counselors there. They draw, they color, they kind of have.
Oh, I had no idea.
So I didn't know they closed the schools like that. I don't know if it's just Broward
I
County.
think it's just over there because
I don't know if it's here, but and this is schools like up the road from here. So she said the local.
I think
schools
it's probably the area because in West Palm nothing was happening yesterday.
So I was like, oh, so she's at the spot, right? Because she's not usually there on a Friday because she goes to school there. I mean, she goes to school during that time. So when she said the school that she goes to, I said, oh, I know some people linked to that school. And we were talking about it, and she said, who? And I said, this guy's name. And she said, oh my God, he loves me. It was my teacher. He loves me. I said, I bet he does. He's a weirdo. I mean, he's just he's
questionable.
So she says, look,
does he like A minors?
Look, yeah. It's funny. Do you know that that's on my list, by the way? That's so funny.
I have thoughts on that.
Do you know
that Super Bowl as a whole?
Yeah, it's same.
Don't lose your thought.
But do you know that this man, he's in his late 20s, at least, maybe in his early 30s. I don't know. Okay. This is so crazy. Do you remember there was a random Cuban boy years ago after Jason had passed that I had met that I would never nothing happened, I would never entertain, right?
Right.
And I was supposed to go to a ball game with him, and I didn't go on a Sunday night, and that's when the first poltergeist thing happened in my house. It's that guy. He's her teacher, and he's sending her text messages on her phone and randomly FaceTiming her, rolling grabbas.
What? Rolling grabbas?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Grabba is a leaf to roll cannabis, and grabba is just the leaf they use. But
okay.
He's a teacher at her school doing this. A teacher who actually, when I knew him, got called into the office, and I didn't know what for. I knew he was really nervous and something happened, and he disappeared off the face of the earth because he tried doing me dirty. And then he came back around this year, funny enough, on my Snapchat, trying to hit. I won't respond to him, but it's weird how he came up again. And this girl, it's just
weird how she said, oh, he loves me.
Just the way she said
that
it.
That is the weirdest shit I've ever heard. Who says that?
And she's like,
I can't say, my teachers liked me. I had teachers that would that I was a good student, but I would never say oh yeah, that teacher loved me.
So another client comes in and we start talking about it, and the client knows her, they know each other, and the client's like, how does he have your phone number? And she's like, oh, we did this report, we did this, we did these resumes or something like that, and then after the lady, whatever, we talked about a little later, she's like, oh yeah, well, he was helping me to do this and that, and he would FaceTime me, and she's like, do you know how hard it was? And I was like, and he calls her hun and mommy, and I said, the fuck, what? And then he ended up getting in trouble for showing a documentary where it showed the kids at Stoneman Douglas.
What is wrong with this person?
I don't know, but this is what I was telling you, kind of telling you a little bit earlier. This is a common thing to me, that these young girls come to me. Like, this is not the first time this has happened. And I'm trying to ask Spirit, maybe you can help me, since what is it? Why do these girls, like, what am I supposed to do in these situations like this? Like, I know the guy. I even showed her. I said, "Oh, that's Chico." I said, "Oh, that's that Chico." And she said, "What?" She's like, "Oh, he even follows me on Snapchat." I said, "Your teacher is and she's a cute, she's a cute, bubbly personality, really pretty girl."
I mean, let me tell you, because obviously I don't have girls come in asking me questions about that stuff.
It constantly happens to me. I
was gonna say, I know that you've had a lot of young girls come to you. I will tell you, when I first started with my Etsy, right? Mm-hmm. I started getting a very younger crowd on Instagram. This was before TikTok existed. Mm-hmm. So TikTok just started. And I had a very younger crowd of like 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who would DM me for advice. They were mostly females, and they would never ask me. It was never about that kind of stuff. I was never being reached out to about like sexual
predator stuff,
predators. Like it was never like
this,
that.
And this is over and over for me.
And there's a point to me saying to this. I kept getting the same types of questions,
mm-hmm.
like kind of like right now. I kind of am getting the same type of questions regarding like people who want tarot card readings. They're asking the same type of questions. Mm-hmm. The people who are asking me for Reiki sessions, it's for the same type of reasons, mm-hmm. like, which is not a common thing. So when I feel like there's like a theme, like at that time, what was happening was these young girls were trying to understand how could they, like crystals was such a big thing. Crystal healing was such a big thing in like 2020 and 2021. And so mm-hmm. I had a lot of girls who were trying to like be ballers on a budget. How can you get really nice crystals that, without spending so much money and all this stuff. And so, all these kids, they wanted moldavite. But okay, moldavite is a really serious crystal.
Oh, I've learned.
Not everyone needs to be using it. And so like I try to tell people you can use malachite. Malachite is a milder mm-hmm. version, but it's not mild. It's not like it's like the milder version of that would be like I don't know, like a labradorite. And labradorite is not even that mild. But like there was just different options. And so they kept coming to me with stuff like that, like baller on a budget, how to be a witch on a budget. Do I have to do these things? What's with all the gatekeeping on TikTok? Why does people do I have to have someone gift me a tarot card? Like my moms are never going to buy me a tarot. And it basically felt like these girls were coming for validation. They wanted to make sure that it was okay to be a baby witch. Like I had a lot of people ask me, like I grew up Christian and Catholic and they condemn witches. And I'm like, that's not true. They not completely. They don't condemn everything. I go, when you look at the three kings, Jesus brought, the kings brought Jesus gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Those are all, I wouldn't call gold a crystal, but it's an element. And then you have two essential oils, two essential elements of nature. Like, you try to help people because like I went through my forgiving of the church phase. I was raised Catholic and I was very, very devout and I was very into Jesus and God, and not that I'm not anymore. It's just, it's different. It looks a little different.
Yeah. I think that's what happens. I'm just bringing that back into it because I was so devout against that word, like the word God, I wouldn't use for. I think people close to me are very shocked that I've used that word mm-hmm.
As
much as I have. I still don't prefer it.
Yeah,
but it still does come strong for me in even in like meditations or mm-hmm. a prayer in a sense. It still does come in strong, and I still don't know. I think I've had enough time away from it being put in my head to where I think it can be more natural.
Yeah.
But I still struggle going back and forth with like, is it what was force fed to me for so long, or is it truly the correct terminology to use?
No, and I completely understand that. And like, I mean, same thing with me. You go back and forth, like, cause like, like the minute you start using God or Jesus, people are like, I thought you were a witch.
Yeah. And it's like You know what?
Why do I have to explain?
I
like,
don't
I'm
explain
working
shit
with.
to
But my
nobody.
whole thing is like, if you really are understanding religion and you're really understanding spirituality, then you're gonna recognize that it all comes from. It's the same story.
Yeah,
It's all the same story. I
told 1,000 different ways.
like it's all the same story.
I think I sent it to you. I don't know where it's at. I'll see if I can find it because I know I sent it to my daddy, and I probably can find it easier there. Where they said like, you know, Christians call it prayer. You know, it says different things. You know, so someone calls it this. Someone, you know, witches call it spells. Like, but it's all the same thing.
It's all the same. And so, but the.
Oh, it's about that time. That's how you know it's about that time.
I was like, oh my god, we
get close to that time.
But what I was trying to get at is, you know, like you never know why. Well, at first you don't know why you keep getting the same theme of people, and it's usually you're not only like learning something for yourself, but like I don't think this is a learning thing for you. We've always said it. You are a catalyst. You're not someone's cup of tea. You're their glass of ayahuasca.
I thought that was so funny. It's so good though. It really is true though. And someone else, when I sent it to them, I was like, oh, my friend sent me this. And they're like, that is so true about you.
Yeah. Like, you know, we talk about it like you are a catalyst. You get things moving, you get motion going. This is a common theme. And I think a lot of it has to do with one, you're a comfortable person to talk to, but also the industry that you were in for a really long time. I think that our own traumas sometimes radiate off of, you know, just like how we get downloads about people. I think people probably get downloads about us, even if we don't even, you know, don't say these things or put them out, or it's just a thing. And I, you know, not trying to put anyone's shit on blast, but like there is definitely a reason that you're going to continuously be getting these people reaching out to you, or just continuous stories coming to you of this theme. And it's a really delicate,
that's
sensitive
the problem.
topic. And I think it's hard to talk about, especially to the public. It's a hard thing to communicate because like, it's also like, even just now you talking about that guy, it is hard to just put that kind of out there. Like,
that's why I didn't want to put like the school or, you know, like, because
it's a very serious
it's like,
especially right now.
And I mean, I see like, I know the person he is. So I know it's deviant. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I know it is. Like, he's legit a piece of shit. Like, he's a piece of shit. And it kind of reminded me, like I said, there was, and even funny enough, I was talking to somebody the other day that their niece had come to me. We were just talking. She's 18 now. And we were talking about like, wow, that happened 5 years ago. Like, I was like, damn, because he was like, you remember my niece? I'm like, no, like stupid. He knows, you know? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, dang, that means she was 13 when she came to me. And we literally just had this conversation. Yesterday, it was on Valentine's Day because he called me, tell me happy Valentine's Day. And he had to go do whatever. And it was like that just yesterday that came up twice then, because that came up in the morning and I thought about like, dang, that girl came to me like, and I did what I thought I needed to do, you know, and then we had a situation that came in and I'm still in limbo with that. Like, really and truly, I'm still in limbo with that. And I felt like, oh, you know, like I'm kind of like water under the bridge. Let me just get past that and just move on. And I'm healed. Let me just move on. And then boom, that hit me yesterday. And it's like,
it's definitely your piece. Like, I know we've talked about it, especially the one that deals with our situation.
Yeah. And it's just like, I just don't understand when things come like that at you. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do about it? Or why do the common theme it's a common theme. Like you said, there's a reason, whether it's, I don't know if I've got it. I don't know. I'll figure.
And that's what the whole thing is. Like, these common themes that come at you, it could be as minor as like the continuous things of like events that you should be going to, or things that are really not minor.
Or let's wrap up with that. Let's wrap up with the Super Bowl real quick. Okay. Did you watch what I sent you today about?
I sure did.
Okay. First of all, I love Gabby Hanna. I've loved Gabby Hanna forever. She was a crazy ass fucking bitch on YouTube years ago.
I was gonna say, I don't even know who she is.
Okay, that's because yeah. So okay. She was on YouTube like Prime, like we're gonna see YouTube coming back hard. I think. Okay, Trisha Paytas has made YouTube like she.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we don't need to get into that today. But Gabby Hanna is
Just
from
loving Trisha
is from back there, right? So back in that. So Gabby Hanna was crazy. Like the level you're gonna the level you get on the days you get like. Do you get sing song when you get crazy?
Do I get sing song?
I call it sing song.
Why do you call it sing song?
Because after I get to a point, there's a certain point that when I get to this point, you better hide.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get sing songy. So
it's really funny because when I start getting mad at work,
I talk in song.
No, I just start singing. Like I'll start like say like I'll like say something. I'll be like, oh yeah, well like we could have done that better, and then I'll be like.
Oh no, I'm
like,
more
no.
like,
I will start singing because like if I don't start singing, I'm just gonna start.
Okay, so I'm the other
yelling.
person that's like oh, I love how fucked up everybody here is.
Oh yeah, I will do that too.
I could have done so much better, but you know I'm so entitled. Fuck you. That's who.
See, I couldn't do that at work. I might do that. I've done that in fights with my family.
Okay,
like,
same.
Like, okay, well, fuck you guys.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I don't fucking care what you're doing.
Like that's me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I can't do that at work.
When I get to sing, when I get to sing song, it's level 10 nuclear.
Like you're like, I'm done.
Like
I'm done.
Like when I'm sing songing because I'm so fucking pissed off, then it's the dogs are hiding.
Right.
People
like,
are like
it's like
okay.
Like I'm blowing
so
down the roof.
Gabby Hanna was kind of like that. Okay, Gabby Hanna would get a little bit like super like
real heated.
She was on some. She was just a YouTuber. Like she actually, I think she was a Viner. I think she got really famous on Vine.
Okay. I wasn't into Vine.
And then she started doing YouTube and then she disappeared. Everybody was like, where the fuck did Gabby Hanna go? And then she came back and her tattoos are being removed. She's Jesus. And like, I really enjoy the new Gabby Hanna. Okay. I don't watch her a lot or anything, but that came up. Okay. So let's rewind a little bit back to the Super Bowl. Okay. Pre-Super Bowl, for weeks, for months, all I hear my homeboys is like, oh, Kendrick Lamar killing Drake, the beef. And I'm like, first of all, why are y'all so invested in this? Why are y'all, this is so ridiculous. Okay. First of all, most of these men are mad because Drake is a beautiful, rich, and has a huge fucking dick. Okay. Let's keep it a buck. That's what most men are mad at. Okay. Then just keep it a buck. Okay. So, but I love both their music.
Okay, so for me, I can give two fucks about either of them.
She don't care.
I don't care about. I went through a phase of rap music where I was like really into it. I don't care.
You are a complete outsider on that.
Yes, I am a complete outsider.
Okay. So for
my biggest thing is, and I have to say this out to the world because like I'm sorry, I have friends who love Drake. I don't give up.
I love Drake.
I don't. I have to tell you, I don't.
I do love Drake.
I will say, I do think in the rap battle, I think Kendrick won.
Yes,
I have never liked Drake, though. And I have to tell you, because Drake is not Drake. Listen to me, world. Drake is and forever will be Jimmy in a wheelchair from Degrassi.
I don't know this. I don't know this. Look at your face right now. Oh, I don't know it.
Okay, so growing up, I was actually the second generation. There's like an older generation. So in Canada, there's a show called Degrassi. And growing up, this was like the show that like this was like my teen like show that I would watch like with the drama and the guy
it
Drake,
was like 90210 for me.
Kind of like
okay.
but it was kind of like, did you ever see that show Skins or heard of Skins, the Europe show where it was like kids just partying and all that?
No, but okay.
And like life lessons. Okay, when we're done with the podcast, I'm gonna show you videos.
Okay.
But Degrassi was like that show that you would watch that like it taught you life lessons. Like it taught you like there was like all kinds of things.
Okay.
Like, okay. Drake, the guy who played Drake, whatever his real name is, Aubrey, whatever it is, he was Jimmy in Degrassi, and he gets shot by the school shooter in the school shooter episode, and he gets paralyzed, and he's in a wheelchair for the rest of the season of that generation. There ends up being a new generation of Degrassi, but like in my 5 years, I don't know how long that new generation of Degrassi went on with those kids. Whatever Drake's real, I know it's Aubrey something. I just don't know what his last name is.
Oh, his real name.
Yeah, his real name is Aubrey something. But Drake was Jimmy. He was the character Jimmy, and he was in a wheelchair, and he will forever be that for me because like that's who he was. Like way before he was a rapper, he was on this Canadian teen drama show
Okay.
And he gets shot.
Okay.
He gets shot. People listening, I need you to clue in on this. If you've
I
watched
hear
Degrassi, you need to give some things into.
Well,
I'm showing Callie after,
listen,
but like this is so funny. I had no idea you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. And also,
I am so shocked.
Listen, I was late to the Drake game. Okay, I didn't like Drake as a rapper, and I like rap music. Now I do.
Right, I know you do,
I am
yes.
more of like my roots were. I don't listen to punk anymore. I don't. But that was
Sure.
my. I listen to mostly rap. You know, hip hop and rap.
Right.
Now.
Yes.
So, I was late to the Drake game.
So do you prefer one over the other
Of the rappers
of like Kendrick to Drake?
music.
Yeah. Do you think it's Kendrick?
It depends on my mood. It depends on the mood, but I'm going to tell you, I listen to both of them every day.
Okay.
They're both on my daily playlist.
Now, like I have to let me tell like now is like just like because I keep up with like social media.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with Kendrick Lamar. I have no beef with him.
I have no beef with Kendrick Lamar either.
I have no beef with Kendrick Lamar. On the other hand, though, you know how I am. Like I keep up with like the Diddy and all that shit. I have always known Drake as the shit like when
we can't say we can't say. Well, we can bleep it. But
bleep that out.
But here's the thing.
Bleep that out.
No, we can bleep it.
Okay.
But here's the thing with that. Here's the thing with it. My thing with that is.
You can't say that.
We can't. No. I mean, we can't. You
no,
got.
We
can. But the problem is YouTube will flag it, so
right.
we just have to. We have to say. I forgot how they say it. They come up with different words. But the thing is with it. To be honest with you, is if that's the case, why are we?
Oh, so well. Wait a second. I know. I agree with her episode. Like this is my whole thing. I've not understood the halftime shows for the last, I don't know, the last 5, 6. I haven't understood any of the shows. I haven't understood any of the shows. I thought they were all very ritualistic and just
they're kind of weird.
I
mean, I thought it was a great perform. Like the production was good.
Production and
Kendrick,
the symbolism of everything.
And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Like it got speaking, and all the little disses were great. I mean.
It is an eerie thing to think like we all were just like A minor.
Like we're sitting here chanting.
Like bopping in the fucking crowd. Like going. Like,
think about that. That is kind of crazy. And at the Grammys, or was it the Grammys that we just had, that they were literally everybody stood up and like A minor, like with all the Diddy stuff going. Think about this. With all the Diddy stuff going on, okay? The sex trafficking.
I personally think Drake's just a fall guy. I think they're all doing it, but
of course, Drake is literally, he's being blackballed out the industry.
They're doing exactly what they did to Michael Jackson, because I don't actually think Michael Jackson was one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. Actually, I don't think.
But I think they are fall guys.
And
like I do think Drake is doing things, but I think that they're all. I think it's just to distract you from what everything else is happening. They're all doing it.
I think they've all, and it's not just them. It's culture in general that fuck with. I mean, we can call 17-year-old minors because they are okay.
They are.
But I'm not gonna lie. I had my first sexual experience. I was 17 and he was 24. Okay, so. I'm not trying to say that's right, or I'm not, and I'm definitely like, if I had a 17-year-old kid and anybody above, like, I will. This is why I don't have children, okay?
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at, in the psame way with R. Kelly too, just gonna put out that out there too.
Aaliyah was 12,
and we were literally on 106 in Park or whatever, being like, when she was like 15 and Rob was like 27, right? Being like, so, is there a little spark going on, like? The VJs are asking a 15-year-old if she's fucking with a 27-year-old, okay? So we know this is part of the industry. There's plenty of songs that we could go back to and sit here and relate and go back to, like, she's just 17, if you know what. I mean, that's what, in the 50s? That song? Like, I'm just saying, this is
like,
in the
kids
culture.
don't know better. Like, you know, like going back to what you were, like, my first time, I was 17, I was with someone who was 19, but I was 16 dating a 20-year-old, and my mom was like, what can a 20-year-old possibly want to do with you? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like a nice guy. But then like things start happening. Like I don't have a curfew. I had a curfew. He didn't have a curfew.
Yeah.
And so it's like I would have to be home by midnight when I was that. Yeah, I had to be home by like midnight. And it was like he was on the brink of turning 21.
Yeah.
And it's like now I look at it and it's like, like what? But like, you don't realize at 16, you don't think there's anything of it. You're just happy that someone likes you.
And like, and so like, here's the thing with the whole Drake thing for me. I don't know whether he has or hasn't done anything. I don't know, because I'm not part of it. I love his music. I don't really care about anything else unless, I mean, I'm going to still bump some R. Kelly here and there too. Just going to say it's going to happen.
I'm not going to lie. I've been in clubs, and every time Ignition goes on,
so here's the thing.
And it's not a white person thing.
Or
every
like,
single person in the club. I've seen people just fucking
or like
bump to
the
R.
music,
Kelly.
or like, the music, or Michael Jackson. Like, we're never, not even though they want to say, we still love his music. So I think you have to, if you want to,
you do have to remove the art from the artist.
You kind of have to remove that. As far as like a battle, a beef, you know, the thing is the label is unfortunately, you know, the label is both. He covers both. So Drake isn't suing Kendrick Lamar. He's suing the label, because the label is allowing this defamation to happen and encouraging it. Like, why are we pushing this so hard? And I kind of had that question too. Like, I didn't understand why it didn't set right with me, like, seeing this so much. And Gabby Hanna was the way she said it kind of is kind of what I'm trying to explain. And I didn't know how to explain it. It's basically like, how weird is it? No matter what, or are we sitting here like, what? I'm a like, she's not wrong with that. Like, and it's probably a minor, and we're all like, yeah, minor. It's probably a child molest. Like, she's not wrong with that. And it's like, we're sitting here, and it's catchy, right? There's a reason.
I even told Jordan, we only watched the second quarter of the game. Mm-hmm. We did not want, I told him, I was like, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I said to him, I go, and I'm not watching the halftime show. And he goes, why? I go, I'm not watching it.
Well, I mean, it was a great performance. I'll give you that. The sound was great.
I've seen the clips and all that, great. But there was something about it, and I don't know what it is. I know I've seen a few content creators now say, like, it's very ritualistic. You could feel it harvesting your energy. But like, in that case, because like everyone kept asking me, oh, what are you doing for the Super Bowl? And I was like, I don't know. And like 3 days before, I told Jordan, I go, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched the halftime. I mean, I thought it was a great I watched the halftime show 2 or 3 times. I've watched it.
Yeah. I think it's funny when he's walking by with a smile and he's like, say Drake.
Yeah, because nobody expected it. Because even though the beef is going on, you kind of didn't expect, like she says, the Super Bowl doesn't want any kind of, they didn't want to talk about Selena and Justin or Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian and Kanye, but they want to talk about this? They want to publicize this? Why?
They're all doing it.
So it's like almost like she's done right in front of our faces.
It always is.
And then, like, I mean, yeah, and if that's the case, you're literally watching in real time. I mean, and Drake's silent, so we'll see what he's got something, you know. And listen, at the end of the day, it could just all be for views. It could just all be to make money.
There is a big conspiracy with that. Have you heard about that? Mm-mm. With the reason for the Kendrick and Drake beef and how it's actually all fabricated?
Mm-mm. I would believe that.
So right now, and I think it's been for like the last 3 years, the main performing artists in the rap and hip hop industry are all female.
Okay.
And that the male rap stars are not producing, which, think about it, Jay-Z's not really making music. Kanye is off the deep end.
Yeah.
Off the deep end. I personally think he's cloned.
I love Kanye West so much, but I am like,
that was very rough. That was
and
really
not only
bad.
not only that, like, now there's always reports they're getting divorced, but there's like true report, like, who knows, but like, I don't understand.
Like,
I honestly try to understand Kanye, but I'm
that was really bad.
Like,
that whole,
it's
so bad. I have no words. But when you start looking at it, like, you know, think about it, and then think about how many male rappers are dead.
Yeah.
How many of them that are so good that they're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Like, if you think about the last 5 years, like, they needed it's all female.
We don't have a lot of, you're right with that.
It's all female. And so there's a big conspiracy that the Kendrick and the Drake beef is actually fabricated to try to bring back, like, the male industry up to, but it's just not happening. It's not working. And this Diddy thing kind of put a damper into
the Diddy thing in general. Like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And it's just showing, honestly, it's showing, like, it's just showing the tip of how bad it is. Like people, unless they're really my age, is not. Am I having a stroke? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah,
Is what it feels
you
like.
have a stroke?
Like Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, those kids back in the day, they tried to come forward and talk about this kind of stuff.
Corey
Child
Feldman
trafficking.
still tries to come forward about it.
And you know,
and they deem him crazy.
all the time.
I saw him in concert this year. He was great.
Yeah.
He really was. I don't care what anyone says. He did great.
But, you know, and Corey Haim died from, I mean, obviously, you know, an overdose, but from.
I personally think he was murdered, but that's
and,
just me.
And that happens because when they start to try to talk, that happens. So
Matthew Perry was murdered, came out.
I think we're learning how deep it's not conspiracy anymore. It truly isn't conspiracy anymore. And things are kind of opening up, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was not going to be part of the Super Bowl and the stuff with the, like, yeah, I was shook when I heard that Not Like Us was played. But I mean, like, when you sent me that video, like 1,000, like, that's exactly what it sounds like when you watch those videos.
Yeah. It's just kind of weird. Like, it's just kind of weird. We're doing that on such a family, quote unquote, platform. Like,
which, like, I just saw, so Kendrick's performance got 133.5 views. 135.5 million views, which beat the record. The record was 133.4 million views. But wait, that 133.4 million views was Michael Jackson in 1993.
Oh, wow.
1993.
That's a long time.
But think about 1993. You don't think there'd be that, like, he got the same amount of views as something that was performed in 1993. We haven't had bigger performance, bigger view. Like 1993 was 30 years ago.
And the different
it was
ways,
not the way that we were watching TV.
You can't watch
now.
TV. Like you weren't streaming on a bunch of different.
Like,
that was TVs.
Huge.
That was literally televisions. That's the only way you could watch that was television, like, or a bar and a television. But that's it.
Insane.
There was no iPads. There was no streaming. The internet
didn't come till 95.
So legit, that's like that's kind of crazy. Really,
that's insane.
With how much? That's a really crazy statistic with how much the internet has like how much we stream and how many people have access to that did not have access to it 30 years ago. That's a really crazy.
Bringing back that name around Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of things that could tie into that. Really,
it's very insane.
Yeah,
it's really, really, really wild.
For sure. Well, I think we talked about a lot, way more than 30 minutes. Maybe we'll get 2 episodes out of this.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe people would like a long episode.
Just do one. Actually, a few people did ask just to make it one longer one. So maybe I'll just do that. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Getting better and better. I actually uploaded us, by the way, or put us on, we are now on Amazon podcast there, like the Amazon music podcast there.
Nice.
We are working on iHeartRadio, Apple Music's in the works, or Apple Podcast, sorry, and YouTube and Spotify.
We're getting out there.
Yeah, we're just getting it out there. We just need to build our little corner of the world here and give us more ideas.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who watched the first episode, and thank you in advance for everyone who's going to watch this episode. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate your questions.
Yeah, I was going to say the feedback for sure. We really appreciate any feedback because we're just learning. We're just
like, if you like, you know, we're just going and we're trying new things. You know, if you all have like questions for us and you want us to do a Q&A, or I don't even know, like, throw it out there. We're really open to suggestions.
Yeah, we just want it to be a comfortable place where people can sit and talk about our real life, because our lives are and you know, obviously
sometimes they're not as crazy as they sometimes are, but sometimes they really are.
We really do have a crazy life, but
pretty wild.
But yeah, we just want to just enjoy the space for now.
Enjoy the space.
I'm tired. That takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much it does. I mean, I love to be on the microphone and stuff, but just to kind of sit and talk like that, it's kind of tiring. It's really work sometimes. It's
yeah, no,
like,
I'm pretty beat. I'm pretty beat.
It really makes you tired. And maybe it's the chicken we had. We had some great chicken tonight.
I've never even heard of Magoo's.
Huey Magoo's.
Yeah, I had a new chicken place, which I don't know why no one's talking about this.
It is so good, isn't it? That's been my obsession for the last.
I really liked it. I really like that sweet hot sauce too.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll have to come up with something next time. So, thanks for coming by.
Oh, of course.
I
always
you so
enjoy
much.
coming.
I love our talks, and we just put them on camera. Actually, when we were at the table, that was a thing. I was like, "Dan, this would be a whole good. We should have just sat down over here and ate our food and like just talked." Because really, I think that's more the vibe. It's just good to sit and talk and relate.
Yeah.
All right, love you so much.
Love you,
and
love you all.
Yeah.
See y'all soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.